So many network marketers fall in love with a health and wellness product, and then they realize that there's an incredible opportunity to build the lifestyle and income of their dreams. But what happens when you get started and you run out of friends and family to talk to, and what you're doing on social media just isn't quite getting you where you want to be? Well, the truth is, it's probably not your fault. It just takes a little marketing know-how that you may not be getting from anywhere else. So on this podcast, I'm sharing with you the secrets that I've been able to learn from all of my top earner friends and mentors. I'm pulling back the curtain on exactly what it takes to get people excited about the wellness products that you have to offer, to help people improve their lives, and to get you to the rank that you want to be at. My name is Soraya Goddard, and this is Secrets to Marketing Your Wellness MLM. Hello. So it's been a couple weeks since I have recorded a podcast episode. I try to average at least once a week. Sometimes I do better, sometimes I do worse. But I've definitely skipped a couple weeks because I have been super busy putting together Insta Strategy Academy. For those of you who don't know the background, I released an Instagram course for network marketers in 2019. And I never intended to create any courses. That was never a goal of mine. It was never in the business plan. But so many people came to me and were asking me for help and advice, and I was getting asked to speak places that I was like, you know what? Instead of me just repeating myself all the time, let's make a course. So that course did amazingly well. But as you know, if you're on social media, which if you're listening to this, you probably are, social media changes a lot. And so the course that I put out in 2019 was really no longer relevant. And I gave it a slight refresh in 2020, but it needed a big refresh. And so I decided not only to refresh it, but to update, basically make the whole thing better, take it from amazing to really amazing. And that is a lot of work, if you didn't know that. And so I am the course is 6 weeks. The way that I'm doing it right now is that people who purchase the course get 6 modules, one released every single week. So right after I record this, I'm going to record the 5th module. So it's been 5 weeks of work. And then I have a select group of people who are doing kind of the VIP version, which not only do they get the course, but every module that gets released, they get a small group coaching session with me so that I can help them digest it and apply it and answer any questions and all that. Both options are great options. Feedback is great. So that's a little bit about what I've been up to. And then, of course, the normal stuff like work and house renovations. And I talked a little bit on both Instagram and Facebook about our fertility journey. So unfortunately, had another unsuccessful round last month. So there's just been a lot going on. And I only say all of that because if you feel like you have a lot going on in your life too, which I'm sure you do, you are not alone. There is always just stuff, right? And so that kind of brings me to what I want to talk about. As I get the privilege of working with people to improve their Instagram presence, which ultimately is not just to have a cool Instagram presence, it's to grow their business. But I get the privilege of working with people, and I have my normal coaching group. I have this Instagram kind of short-term coaching group and some one-on-one clients. And so through all of that, I get to really kind of have a bird's eye view of what people tend to struggle with. And it's really humbling that people open up and people trust me and I get to help them. I love it so much. One of the things that has been coming up lately is people having fear, just a lot of fear. Although it doesn't present as fear. It presents as, hey, I feel stuck and I'm not sure why I'm not where I think I should be. I've been doing the work. I've been showing up, whatever that means for your business. But for whatever reason, it's just not working. And so I don't want to say that every single time it's fear, but I've been working with a couple particular clients, coaching students, and as I dig deep, I find that there are some common themes. And so I hope that it's okay that I share these with you today and just talk a little bit. It's going to be a fairly short episode, but just talk a little bit about what these fears are. And my goal is really just to plant some seeds in your mind. Are you struggling with this? There's no right or wrong answer. If you are, totally fine. If you're not, totally fine. But if you are, and it's something that is holding you back from being where you should be or where you think you should be or where you want to be, then maybe now I'll help you bring some awareness to it. So, like I said, a lot of people are like, hey, look, I'm putting in the work. I don't understand what's going on. I'm showing up. I'm doing all the things that you tell me to do. I'm doing all the things that if they're in network marketing, their upline tells them to do, but it's just not working. And so my first question is always, what are you actually doing? Like, what are you actually doing? Are you prospecting? Are you exposing people to your business opportunity or your products or something? Because a lot of times people think that they're doing the work, but really all they're doing is just kind of posting on Instagram or Facebook, and they're not actually having conversations with people. They're not actually prospecting people. So it's the first half of the work, but the second half isn't actually being done. And so if that's the case, which a lot of times it is, I'm like, hey, what's the deal? You're posting, you're showing up, you're actually telling people about your stuff, but then for some reason, you're not taking the next step. So either people are not reaching out to you because you haven't hit that button where they feel drawn to reach out, or you haven't asked enough people if they'd like to take a look at what you have. And then that leads to the conversation. The conversation. What I mean by the conversation is I say, well, what's up? And I ask why, and I ask why, and I ask why. Sometimes it takes a little bit of digging. Usually you ask 3 or 4 times, well, why is that? Why do you think that may be happening? Why do you think that may be happening? And we get to the real root, which is, I just don't like talking to people. Well, why? Well, I guess I am scared of what they're going to say, or I'm scared of being judged, or insert any one of a number of fears. And look, we all have fears. There is no coach or mentor or upline or course or anything that's going to get rid of fear in your life. It's just not going to happen. The only time you're not going to have fear in your life is if you are playing super small and you're staying very comfortable, which if you're listening to this, you have a business and that is not you. So we're never going to get rid of fear. What we can do is learn to recognize when we're fearful and then learn to be comfortable with being fearful. Or learn to accept that fear is just a signal and an indicator that we're playing a little bit bigger and that some goodness is coming our way. Abundance is on the other side of fear. Getting to where you want is on the other side of fear. Helping people is on the other side of fear. So fear is not a bad thing, but sometimes I think we can be blind to what those fears are. So let's just talk about a couple of them. Fear of being judged is often the biggest one, the first one that comes up. And this is fear of being judged by friends, fear of being judged by families, sometimes fear of being judged by strangers. Because let's face it, most of the people that you're connected to on social media are a bunch of strangers. Like, you may think you know them, but they're strangers. And so for whatever reason, I say we because I also do this, I sometimes think about, what is someone going to think of me if I actually say what's on my mind, or if I actually talk about the thing that I'm going through, or if I actually tell them what I think of this thing. Fear of strangers, which is crazy. Fear of coworkers judging you. Fear of if you're still in a career or a job of some sort, people wondering, well, who is she to start a business? And oh my God, it's one of those type of businesses. And doesn't she know that those never work? And blah, blah, blah. And so we get into this cycle where we're like, well, we don't have the results that we want yet. And so we're really a little bit afraid to come out and say that we're doing this thing. That comes up all the time. So if you deal with that fear, you are not alone. And I would be lying if I didn't say that I often think about what people in the Army think when I post on social media all the time. Like, why is this person talking about products and social media and coaching and courses, and like the audacity of someone to think that they can do all this stuff on the side? But ultimately, when I do have those fears, I then remember, oh, wait, that person's opinion doesn't matter, or this imaginary group of people, which actually doesn't exist, they're probably not even paying attention, number one. And if they are, they're not judging me. They're probably curious. And I find that that's true for most of our fears. So whether it's you fearing people judging you or looking down upon you or any one of a number of things, very few people are paying attention. Like, it's the good and the bad news, right? Very few people are actually paying attention, which is why we need to be consistent with getting our message out and be bold and a little bit more fearless in just sharing what's on our heart. But very few people are watching. And if they are watching, they're certainly not judging you. They're more than likely going, wow, that's super interesting. What is she up to? Why is she talking about XYZ? Why is she showing these products? Like, that's interesting. Or if they are judging you, which so few people are, if they are though, if that minuscule amount of people who are actually looking at you and being like, oh, well, that's dumb, guess what? They're not your friend. They won't ever be your customer or your business partner, and they're not worth your time. So no matter which way you slice it, no matter which way you think about it, there's nobody worth a damn judging you, really. Now, I say that, and I fully understand that I'm being a little hyperbolic. Like, I guarantee that someone's going to write me and say, my mom judges me all the time, or someone very close to you. And I understand that. And that is a real situation. And that can be extremely hard if family members really are down on you. But if they are down on you, they're likely not ever going to be your customer. And so that's something maybe that we can talk about on another episode. Ultimately, the majority of people are not at all judging you. They're just not. So what I find is that when we are operating from a place of fear, the thing that we do is we are not fully ourselves. We're not fully ourselves online or in person or wherever. We shrink a little bit and we edit our message. We edit our personality. We edit everything that we say to make sure that we can please people or that we cannot offend people. And the problem with that, and this is really like the biggest thing that I can impart upon you, the problem is when we shrink and we edit ourselves, we lose our authenticity. We lose ourselves. We lose our message. And your message is your magic. You are your magic. You are what people want. You are the thing that people want to hear. They want to hear you. They want to hear the real you. I like to say that it's the you that after like a Friday night and you're exhausted and you just want to like sit on the couch with a friend or a partner or a loved one or something and you just want to talk. It's those conversations that are the real you. Those conversations are the ones that people are craving. It's the connection, because when we're real, people see us. People see us for who we actually are. Now, not everybody relates to everybody, but when you're you online and in your marketing, you tap into that authenticity that connects with people. I cannot tell you how many times someone has DM'd me on Instagram or written me an email or something and just said, you know what? I've heard 40 other people say exactly what you just said, but the way that you just said it is different. And now I get it. And I like the way that you explain things. So you might be selling the same product as a million other people. You might be a coach like thousands of other people. But guess what? The way that you do it is different. And you and your message are your magic. You'll find that people are receptive to you in a way that they may not be receptive to somebody else. So someone else might have told me about some killer shampoo that person, that they were using, and I didn't pay attention because I didn't like the way that I just, for whatever reason, I didn't hear it. And then someone else could say, hey, guess what? I've got this amazing product that you should try. And I'm like, oh, really? I might be in a different space. I might be in a different place in my life and ready to hear it. But the message has to be authentic, passionate, real, all of that good stuff. When you share your message, no matter how big or small that message is, when you share how your business has impacted your life, when you share the journey that you're on, even if it's not, you at the top of 7 figures, no matter where you are in your journey, people want to know. People want to cheer you on. I want to cheer you on. All the people that are around you want to cheer you on. So when you show up and you start to share your magic and share your products and share your business opportunity and share your journey and tell people what you're going for and why you're going for it, you're going to be relatable. You don't have to try to be relatable. You will be relatable because according to some polls, 75% of people in America are annoyed that they are not where they want to be. They're dissatisfied. They are frustrated. They don't know how to get out of the situation that they're in. In fact, chances are you're in that 75% of Americans. I know we've got a global audience, but the stat that I know is from America. I'm sure it's probably similar elsewhere as well. But when you start to say, hey, look, I started a business because I'd like to make some extra money so that I can take my kids on vacation and not have to stress out about it. Or I started a business because I fell in love with the products and I want to put some more money in my savings, or I want to pay down my mortgage, or I want to afford diapers for my kids, or whatever your why is. When you start sharing that and you start telling people that you're on a mission to better your own life and the lives of others, that is extremely relatable. You don't have to get on the internet and say, look at me in my, Lamborghini and my amazing paid off house. Nobody cares. Like, yes, that's amazing. I would cheer you on if that was your situation. But I'm going to cheer you on even if it's not your situation. So there's no need for us to be shying away from wherever we are and whatever our journey is just because we feel like we haven't arrived yet. You are bold. You're brave. I promise you that, because you wouldn't have started a business if you weren't. You are more brave than the person who is scared. They're watching your Facebook, they're watching your Instagram, and they're scared to do what you've already done. They're terrified. They don't believe in themselves enough. They don't think they're worthy of more money. They think they're stuck. Not everybody, of course, but there's somebody out there who does think they're stuck. And they're watching you. And they're like, man, I wish I could be so brave. I wish I could do what she's doing. I wish I could. And that's the person that's waiting for you to have a conversation with them. So when you post and nobody answers, or when you post and people are just watching but they don't comment, there's somebody who's thinking to themselves in their head, I'm so scared to reach out to her and talk about that because I'm never going to be good enough. Or I'm too scared to talk to her about that business because I don't look like her. Or I'm too scared to talk to her about that business because she seems really confident and I'm not confident. So then what happens when you say, hey, look, I didn't start off as confident at all. In fact, I'm still scared sometimes. Here are the things that scare me. That's a super powerful message. And that message might just give that person who's been creeping but not responding the confidence that they need to perhaps reach out to you and maybe just try your product, or maybe ask you to send them something about the business. You never know. You just never know. You have no idea. So what I'm hoping is coming across is that a lot of those fears in your head are of us thinking that we have to be something that we're not. We think that we have to have attained a certain level of success, or that we have to look a certain way or be a certain way or be at a certain rank, or whatever it is that you're telling yourself that's holding you back from sharing your journey and sharing your story and sharing your business and sharing your products. Please know that somebody is listening to you and just praying, hoping, wishing for whatever it is that you have. And our fears are holding us back from connecting with that person. So my challenge to you is, can you tap into your story and your authenticity? Can you tap into your authenticity? Can you open up and be a little bit more vulnerable and real? Not forced vulnerability, but like let people actually know what's going on in your life. Let them know that you've got big goals. Let them know that you might not be at the finish line, but you're going to get there and you want them to come with you or at least cheer you on along the way. Let people know. Let people know what's going on. Let people know what makes you fired up. Let people know what makes you happy. Let people know what your vision of the future is like for you and your family. Ask them what their vision of the future is like for them. I think when we start to be more authentic, when we start to be more ourselves, when we stop comparing ourselves to other people, you find that magic that makes you so special and you become a very amazing person like you are in real life, but you become that person online as well. It makes people so attracted to you. It makes people want to reach out to you, be like you. So the next time that you're thinking that you have to be something that you're not, hopefully my little voice will be in your ear saying, you are enough. You are the person exactly as you are right now. You are the person that people want to hear from and be like. So go be yourself. Let loose a little bit. Let the internet, let the interwebs see who you really are. I think you'll be surprised. I think you'll be surprised that it's pretty freeing to not have that pressure. And I think you'll be surprised at the reaction that you get. All right. I appreciate you being here. Talk soon. Hey friends, I hope you enjoyed Secrets to Marketing Your Wellness MLM. Before you go though, I have something for you. If you are looking to grow your audience online via social media so that you can have people getting excited about your products and reaching out to you to learn more, then you need my cheat sheet that has 50 health and wellness Facebook Live topics that will attract an audience to you. It also walks you through the secret 4-part formula that you can follow on both Facebook and Instagram that is proven to have people reaching out to you. And when you get it, I am also sending you guys an audio file for those of you who love to listen to the information on the go. You can get both of those things at www.sorayagoddard.com/podcast. Again, that's sorayagoddard.com/podcast. SORAYAGODDARD.com/podcast. Thanks so much. Chat soon.